So here we are again for the next video. What do we do in this video and why do
Yeah.
you show node 1?
We are creating the redundant management network on an HCI node, which is node number 1 in our case. So we are not looking at the storage traffic now. We are not looking at the virtual machines traffic and also not on the BMC, right? We are concentrating on the two 1 gigabit Intel ports and hook them together using a set switch. So we will create a set switch, which is called management switch. And once this one is there, we will create an artificial network adapter, which is called vEthernet management, and give it an IP address, right? So that's basically what we do. And so over to you, Carsten.
So let's switch to the node. I took the liberty to already log in and quit sconfig, and I also changed to the system scripts directory because we have seen that before. So now, though this was the wrong enter, I have to do it here, right?
Yes.
I prepared a little bit of a script where we do the things you explained on the
Okay.
presentation.
Yeah.
And here you see I do a little bit of fancy stuff in the script. I will ask us to enter the last octet. And what does
So
it mean? That's the
me
last.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's you're not hard coding the IP address for every node. You're asking for the last octet, right? And then
yeah, the last part of the IP address
right.
because
Okay.
I choose to have the same last octet in every network of the node because it's much simpler to automate, right? So this part will ask us for the last part. It will be the 51. We saw it in the presentation.
For node number 1, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah, let's go ahead. Then you fill some variables.
exactly. I like to use in my scripts. Everything that is we use later in the script, I put in variables. And though I can change it easily in the top of the script. So here's the management network. We have our default gateway. We have our DNS servers. We have our subnet mask. It's a 23, not a 24. We have our VLAN tag, and we have our name of the management switch.
Okay, one question here. I mean, that's some beefy or not so beefy, but it is PowerShell code. Why are we choosing PowerShell instead of sconfig?
Yeah, the reason is we have two reasons for that. First reason is we use a VLAN tag here because in our environment, even the management adapters have a VLAN tag, and we could transport over the Intel network cards multiple VLANs. So the
Right.
cards are in trunk mode or tagged mode. So the host has to provide a VLAN tag with the Ethernet packet, otherwise the switch will drop the packet. And you can't configure that with sconfig.
Okay.
And also we want to have redundancy. So we want to have a set switch,
Right.
and we can't create a set switch with sconfig either. So we have to do it with PowerShell.
Okay, so the config tool does give you the possibility to do basic stuff, but for the more advanced stuff, we need to do it via PowerShell. Okay, and
Exactly.
probably, you need to do this as well, right? Because in order to get to the system to do remote management, you need to have a network, right? And
We
if
have
you
to have
require VLAN for it, that's the way of how to do it.
exactly.
Okay.
So we wanted to do a real world setup and not
Yeah.
an easy one, right? So here we get the network adapters, the Intel adapters, and then this is the part where we create our set switch. This is
Okay.
this line, UVM switch.
Mhm.
With the name, it's in the variable. Then we
Right.
say, don't create a virtual adapter for us. We will do it later.
Mhm.
Here we specify the names of the two adapters.
Mhm.
And because we have two adapters,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
the new VM switch knows this is a set switch because the set switch is the only Hyper-V switch that can have multiple adapters. The classic switch only can have one adapter. Yeah?
Okay.
So we don't have to specify embedded teaming. There is also a switch for that. And we enable SAIOV.
Okay,
That's
so but that's depending on the network card, right? So it needs to support this, right? But
exactly.
okay, no, okay.
So, and then we create our our virtual management adapter with this line.
Right.
And then we set the VLAN tag on the management adapter. We have it
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So now, after that,
Okay.
we have our switch, we have our adapter with the VLAN tag. And then we go to the IP configuration. Yeah?
Right.
We have everything we need up here. So first, we disable DHCP. If you create an adapter, usually DHCP is enabled. So we disable DHCP here. Then with this line, we give the adapter, here's the name, vEthernet management. We give the adapter an IP address. Here's the IP address, and we take our management network part and add our last octet to it.
Okay.
Yeah, with a point. The point is missing. So the first 3 octets point, and then the last octet. And it's IPv4. We don't want to do it with IPv6. I'm too old for IPv6. I will never get it. Then we have to get the prefix length, so the subnet and the default gateway. Yeah?
Okay, but you enable IPv6 in the next command, right? Which is okay. I mean, IPv6 is smart enough to give it a local address, right?
And you should always have IPv6 enabled, at least at the management adapters. I
Right.
will turn it off on the SMB adapters.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
And then we set our DNS client. So the system knows which DNS server to ask for the IP address of the names we use. So
Which is, let's launch it. And the DNS part is important, right? If you want to talk to the domain controller, because we are doing that stuff now because we want to do the domain join later, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So let's start the script. I didn't specify IP last octet, so he's asking for it. We enter the 51.
Yep.
And then hopefully we don't get red.
Yeah, let's keep the fingers crossed. So yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's good.
And in PowerShell, we also can use the old command, how you call it, commandlets. Or so we look here. We see we have multiple adapters that are not configured, 2634, and here we have our management adapter, and it has the required address you had in your presentation, the subnet mask, and the default gateway and the DNS servers are also set. But for that, we have to do an /all, right?
Cool. So we are done with that video. So our management, the redundant management network is up. And I would say, I think we give it a stop here because the next step would be to do some HCI housekeeping stuff, right? Also, for example, domain join, enable RDP, time zone stuff. But that's in the next video.
Okay, see you there.